Hi everybody, I'm Becki Adams and I'm here on the Scrapbook Expo blog today with another edition of Inspiration Station. Today I thought we'd create a layout using a fun technique that I taught in a class recently that was a really big hit and everybody loved it, and so I thought I'd share it here with you too. Today we're going to start with the Maggie Holmes Shine collection. That's mostly where my supplies will be coming from today. But we're going to start with a fun technique using up a few scraps of ribbon. So I've started this over here. You can see this fun border with all of those little bits and pieces of ribbon. I just pulled some ribbon from my stash, and I just cut the pieces of ribbon into about 2.5 inches long. And then I took a strip of pattern paper and I put some adhesive along there and I started stapling this ribbon. So I've left just a little bit here. I'm going to show you how to do this technique. First, I just put a little bit of adhesive on this side, and then I start placing the ribbon. And I just line it up just kind of in random order. I want to make sure that, you know, different colors, that, you know, not the same colors are lined up or next to each other. Let's see, we'll add a little bit of green right here next to that pink. And then I think I want a little bit of sparkle right next to that. You can see I didn't get it quite enough adhesive there at the end. Okay, so we're going to put that there. And I think I want to end with this just little, it's kind of a narrower scrap. So I'm going to add that right there. And now that I've got all those placed on this side, I'm going to flip it over and run a little bit of adhesive just on this side. And then I'm going to fold it over, and I've cut this ribbon a little bit too long, but it's okay because it's on the back side. Nobody's going to see that, and I can trim it when I'm finished. But I'm just going to fold it over, and I'm going to make sure that my loops are about the same length. So I'm just going to flip these all over, and then really you could be done with this technique just right like that. Just leave it like that and that would be adorable. You could also machine stitch along here. You could hand stitch. There's lots of different options. I'm going to staple them just using my tiny attacher. I'm just going to go along and staple on each ribbon. Just like that. Okay, and because I am adhering this to another piece of paper, I am going to trim this ribbon off just so it lays a little bit nicer along the back of my pattern paper here. Okay, so I'm just going to trim that off and set the excess aside. Okay, so I've chosen this pretty floral background this pretty floral pattern paper as the background for this layout. And I'm going to adhere this piece of pattern paper, the one that we just created with the ribbons, right along the edge here. I just wanted to make sure that was going to fit. So I'm going to put some adhesive along this side to keep it from coming up off the background. And then I'm also going to put a strip kind of along the ribbons here. just to make sure that this side also stays in place. Okay, so we're going to just place that right there along this side. And then we're gonna put the rest of our layout together right over here. This is the photo that I've chosen for this layout. It's of my daughter. I found her sitting in her closet reading the other day, and I just had my phone in my hand and took a quick picture of her. So this is the photo, and then the other portion of, or part of the Maggie Home collection is this gigantic alphabet set, and I love it. They're just a bunch of, they're 68 chipboard gold alphabet, and you can see all the letters there, and these are 4 inches tall. Okay, and so I'm just going to set these right here for just a minute. I'm not going to adhere them quite yet because I want to make sure that I have the placement of the rest of my layout. I found this fun acetate sheet, and we're going to use a couple of frames that I've pre-cut from there right along, just above the photo, along the top of my layout. We're going to put one right here, kind of like this, and the other one is going to go like this. Something a little bit fun, a little bit different that I did with this layout is that I had my daughter write the journaling for this layout. I just handed her this craft tag and a black pen, and I said, will you do the journaling on this layout for me? So she said, I really like to read. I have read almost all the books in my room. I have 5 bookshelves in my room. So she just wanted to tell kind of what a bookworm she is and how many books she has read. So this is kind of, now that I've got my placement down, I'm going to go ahead and adhere these letters. And I'm going to put quite a bit of adhesive on each one. They're a little bit heavier, and so I want to make sure that they stay in place. I'm using the Scotch ATG gun on this layout. I find that it's a really strong adhesive, and that it is one of the lesser, or it's not very expensive. When you do a lot of scrapbooking, you'll find that adhesive can be one of your major expenses, and this is how I've found to keep my expenses under control a little bit more. We're just going to kind of tuck that D right there. Okay, and now I think we're ready to place the photo. So we're just going to place that right here, just above the title and next to our ribbon border. And then I'm going to tuck this tag in just a little bit under the photo, and then right here at the bottom of the tag where she left a little bit of space, I'm just going to stamp the date. And I got a piece of scratch paper here. I always like to stamp on scratch paper first, just to make sure that I've got the right date and that I've got the stamp turned in the right direction. It's not uncommon for me to stamp the date upside down. Okay, so we've got the date stamped there and our photo adhered. And right up here, we're going to work on these acetate frames now. And what I'm going to do is typically it's kind of hard to decide where to put the adhesive, but I'm going to do quite a bit of embellishing on these, and so I'm not going to have to worry very much about where I'm going to put the adhesive. And I am going to use, I think it may even be, it's probably the wrong side of this, but I like the kind of the pink tone that this side has, so I'm going to use that side. And I'm just going to take a little bit of adhesive and put it right there in the middle, because I know that I'm going to be layering some embellishments on top of that. I know that the frame is still going to be showing, so I don't want to put adhesive there. I just want to put it right in the center. And the same thing goes for this frame. I know that I'm going to be embellishing right in the middle. And so that's where I'm going to put my adhesive. The embellishments that I've picked out to go on these two frames come from this embellishment pack. It's from Ellie's Studio. It's the Sienna collection, and it's just the bits and pieces. And I've just pulled out a few of the embellishments that I liked and that I thought would be cute in these frames. So I'm gonna put that heart tag right here in the middle of this frame. Just right like that. It almost fits perfectly, like it was made for this frame. Okay, so I'm gonna put that right there, and then right over the top of that, I want to put this little tag that says "Remember this forever." And I'm going to use some adhesive foam dots on this, just to make it stand out a little bit. We've got a lot of texture and kind of a lot of things standing out over here, and down here my title's a little bit thicker, so I wanted to bring some of that texture and dimension up to the top of the layout. Okay, so we'll put that right there. And then in this other frame, I've got this little tag that says "Happy Moments," and this heart. And then I also wanted to bring in these ones. These awesome sequin hearts, and they're stars and X's and O's. These are also from the Maggie Holmes, the Crepe Paper Shine collection. Just gonna add that right there, and I'm just gonna place it lightly because I want this tag that says "Happy Moments" to kind of go under. Just to go under that just a little bit. And then actually I'm going to use a little more, or a few more pop dots here. Whoops. Just going to put those pop dots and put this heart right there to finish off this little embellishment cluster. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. And then just another couple little things to finish this layout. I'm going to put some of these gold glitter hearts, just to add a little bit more sparkle. I want to put one right in the center of this heart, because I want both of these embellishment clusters to have a little bit of sparkle. And then I also wanted to put one right here on the edge of her tag. I think I'm going to go with this smaller one. And I'm also going to put just one little pop dot, I think is all I've got room for. Just one little pop dot right there. And then I am actually going to back up a little bit. I don't like how this photo is kind of getting lost with the white border. So I'm just going to carefully pull that up. And I'm going to take this little scrap of pattern paper. I'm just going to decide whether I like this side of it or this side, and I think I like this side. That navy blue is just a little bit too dark. Okay, so we're going to adhere that there. Some adhesive here. I think I'm going to have to move this tag just a little bit. I'm probably going to have to, no, we're just going to leave it right like that. It just overlaps. I'm going to put it on top of the letters and just down from the frame, just slightly. And I'm going to tuck that journaling back in. Oh, I was going to tuck it under there, but it just wants to stay up here. So one more final thing. I'm going to add this ruler that I fussy cut from, it's another pattern paper from the Shine collection, and I just think this is kind of a little bit boring, standing out a little bit, so I'm going to add this ruler just right to the middle, and I'm just using the pattern as a guide to make sure I've got that nice and straight. Okay, and I think with that we are going to call this layout finished. So thanks for joining me on the Scrapbook Expo blog today. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you will know when all of our videos are uploaded. Thanks for joining me.